Morning. Welcome to day 4 of rain and clouds in the eastern Sierras. I've never seen this much rain out here in September. Great for the fires because there are none, so I can be out here. But it would be nice to have a sunny day all day and all night one of these days. There's Whitney behind me. That's where we're headed today. Set the alarm for 6, finally up and moving about. It's like 6:45 now. And we're gonna finish this coffee. I put on my rain shell just because when the wind comes through, it does really cut through you. But it's early. It's probably in the low 40s. I have to check. Wasn't too bad. It felt a little warmer last night. Let's see the temperature right now. Yeah, it's 40 degrees exactly. So still pretty chilly. You can see in the other video, you can see the pink coming up over the horizon there. The moon is still out. Hello, moon. Now there's a nice shot. So, I mean, it does make for really spectacular views first thing in the morning. But let's hope we don't get rained on at all, or not too much, as we go up and down the tallest mountain in the lower 48. What's up, guys? Day 4, a little after 7, Guitar Lake, and we're camped over on that side on top of a shelf. Man, right now, moon's still there. We're just starting our initial climb up to, I can't remember the name of it now, Trail Crest, up to Trail Crest. But we got a long ways to go before we get there. I'd say there's probably, I counted between 6 to 8 tents along the shoreline of Guitar where most people camp. So I'm sure either they're finishing the JMT or they're just gonna bag Whitney, one or the other. Right now I feel pretty good, moving pretty good. Have a light pack. My field repair is holding with the light pack, no problem. We really won't know for sure what it's gonna be like until I have all that weight in there. Then it'll be a true test of, is that gonna be digging into my chest or my rib cage? Right now it feels great. So we're gonna keep moving. Best way to stay warm when it's 40 or so degrees out, just to keep moving. But these are ideal conditions to get up these switchbacks when it's cool. So we're gonna keep on moving, but man, take another look at that view. Awesome. What's up, guys? Day 4. We've been climbing for a while, maybe in a little less than an hour. Moon's still out, but as you get higher up, you see more lakes. Over there, that's Hitchcock Lake. That's, you get to that off trail, no trail of that. Cool spot to check out. I think there's an upper and a lower, and I visited one of them 4 years ago. And then a different view of Guitar right there. So you can see we're just switchbacking up this rock pile, zigzagging, making our way up all this loose rock and shale and sand and dirt. One thing that's different this time, something's always different every time you come, right? With all the rain, the lower section of this trail, a lot of it was just like a small river flowing down. Pretty unique to see that here in the Sierras. At least for me, it's always so dry and hot when I come, even in September. So good for the Sierras, getting a lot of rain, keeping the fires away, hopefully. So we're happy about that. And we're not gonna see the sun on this side of the mountain for quite some time, I don't think. So it's still nice and cool here. We're just working our way up these switchbacks, taking little breaks whenever we want, taking in the views, keep taking little sips of water, and at some point we'll probably have a little breakfast. But feeling good right now. I'm just gonna keep motoring up to some tunes. So you can really see the shape of the guitar from this angle. That's why they call it Guitar Lake, but pretty cool. Still climbing, taking in the views, keeping tabs on the moon. Up we go. So when you get up here, you really start to wonder, well, what the heck am I looking at? And that, I can't highly recommend enough the Peak Finder app. I think I paid like $5 one-time fee. You download, when you have good Wi-Fi or good cell signal, just download the offline maps and then you load it up out here. So that's Mount Hitchcock, which makes that Upper Hitchcock Lake. I did not go there, but I did go to Lower Hitchcock right there. Then we go way in the background. One of the, I think it's this one back here is Triple Divide Peak. Come on, focus back. Uh-oh. Come back to me. The pointy one there, Kern Point. And then over here, Mount Young. And that may be one I go get in a few days with some other stragglers by the Wallace and Wright Lakes area, Tulainyo Lake area. So other than that, we're just climbing. Guitar Lake hasn't gone anywhere. And we're just taking in all these great views. Mostly blue skies over here, which is nice. Let's hope that continues at least until we're back down at base camp.
Good morning. It's just after 8 o'clock on Tuesday, September 13th. Slept okay at the campground. There were some crying kids, some whining dogs, people being loud in the middle of the night, but whatever. That's what happens when you're in a big campsite. So I'm now parked. I was able to snag, there's actually plenty of parking in this parking lot, a spot just across the road from Camp 4, and I'm going to start my hike in Camp 4 and head up toward the Yosemite Falls Trail. So I don't think the falls are running right now, but it'll give me some good up and some distance, and I think if the cloud cover and haze clears, I should get some beautiful views of the valley. So let's see what happens.
All right, day 4 update. Still climbing on up to JMT. We just passed 13,000 feet a little while ago. Just amazing views. The one thing that's really cool, look at this rock wall. This trail is so incredible because it's just, looks like it's loose rock and shale and dirt everywhere. Yet, there's a trail going up. And then, who knows how many years ago, a bunch of folks put up that retainer wall. Wow, amazing. The one nice thing about the rain, I think, this has typically been for me a very dirty, dusty trail. I would have a ton of grime on my legs just from all the dust. But the rain has kind of compacted all that. So it's a really nice, for the most part, surface you're walking on. It's just like slightly damp, not dusty at all. And I mean, this is our 4th day out and it's rained every day. And I'm sure the rain, for the most part, has also gotten here. So we'll take the pluses of a little nicer trail, a little spongy, but not like super spongy, just enough where you're not kicking up a bunch of dust and dirt. So if we're over 13,000 feet, I can see the ridge up top there. We must be getting pretty close to trail crest. Feeling good. The light pack after days and days of a heavy pack, a heavy wet pack on top of that. Just pretty much getting up these switchbacks pretty nicely. Taking little breaks. Don't really need a pack break, just little sips of water and really just taking in the views and whipping out the camera for video or photo. So that's where we're at. And we will check in. I'm sure we'll check in at trail crest, at least to show you the sign. So we're not quite at trail crest yet. But we've gotten high enough where we've got Lower Hitchcock, Guitar Lake, and then all the way in the back, you can see Timberline Lake where we passed yesterday where there was no camping. So, and little hidden lakes just everywhere. So, pretty cool. And it looks like we may actually have some sunshine on us soon, maybe. So we're going to keep going up the trail crest. Here we come. I see a sign up ahead. Trail crest. Oh baby, let's go get it. Here we go, 2 miles to the summit. Day 4, it's about 8:30. We made the trail crest. A couple of thru hikers, I'm guessing. Yeah, left their packs here to tag the summit. They're probably JMTers, I'm guessing, or section hikers, who knows. But we're coming back for Whitney. We've made it every time except one. That was the one with Bobby, where it had a freak snowstorm on August 2nd, I think. So hopefully we'll be able to get it again this time. I'll have to count how many times. This might be 4 or 5. Some from day hikes from Whitney Portal, some from Guitar Lake. Maybe it's 6. Just love coming up here. Love the Sierras. And Sarah, at some point when you watch this, we got to get you up here. After what we've been through this summer backpacking, you could do this easily. It's an easy day hike from Guitar Lake. So maybe next year, huh? Let's put it in the plan book. Maybe Bobby will come along too, huh? That'd be nice. So up we go. This is just a really cool section of the trail. We're kind of traversing this rocky ridge, heading over there where those folks are. But Guitar Lake, still got it. Clouds rolling in a little bit, so we're gonna keep on motoring.
So I've been hiking, I don't know, for maybe about 45 minutes. And I mean, I knew this was all gonna be up, but it's up. But it's all switchbacks and there's steps built in. So let's just get a bit of a view so far. So that's Yosemite Valley. El Cap is just down there somewhere. There's too many trees, but I'm sure I'm going to pop out at some point and I can show you the other direction. But you can see all the smoke that settled in the valley over that night. Last night I was laying in the tent and I was like, oh, I kind of smell smoke, and I thought it was going to be people's campfires, but I think it was just the smoke coming into the valley. So, but thankfully it's overcast because I'm definitely sweating without sun beating down on me. Let's keep going.
Check this out. So on this side, Hitchcock Lake, we've been seeing for a while. That's Lower Hitchcock. But then we just got a cool little opening near Mount Muir, some unnamed alpine lakes on the other side. Whew. Cool. We continue.
So it's about 9 a.m. I've gained about 1,000 feet of elevation, maybe a little bit more. I think that's Glacier Point. Down here you can see Yosemite Valley and Half Dome, or I'm pretty sure it's Half Dome.
Day 4, September 13th, maybe 14th. We made it. We're almost at the Whitney shelter. Not much in the way of views up here today, unfortunately, but at least it's not raining on us. So, we'll check out the logbook. We probably won't stay up here too long. It's feeling really good coming up, so I didn't take any videos once we gone that last 2 miles, past a lot of day hikers, through hikers, backpackers. Just felt really good and passed a lot of folks, so I'm not gonna dawdle out here. What's up, guys? We're at the register. We just signed in. We're not gonna get many views today, so I don't think we're gonna stick up here too long. We'll go back to base camp and maybe head on down to Whitney-Tulainyo Lake and set up for Russell tomorrow. That's the plan. We'll check in a little bit later. All right, so we're going down the JMT from the summit. We're at about 14.3, and you can see conditions are not ideal. A lot of clouds and fog right now. Rolling on in. No wind though, so that's good. But no reason to stay on the summit on a day like today. Just kind of tag it and head on down. And maybe we'll get some blue skies when we get back down to base camp. Just with all the backpacking and not only having day pack weight on, man, I really motored up today. Feel really good still. Legs still feel good, but it's always nice to be heading down from the summit. Definitely a lot of people. Probably counted maybe, I probably passed maybe 20, 30, and there were at least another 30 passing me going the opposite direction. So, you know, they give 100-day permits, who knows how many overnight permits, so probably a pretty typical day for up here. But hopefully we'll start seeing views of the lakes and blue sky once we drop a little elevation and lose some of these clouds that have rolled in. One thing about this area, you definitely hear a lot of jets fly over. Don't necessarily always see them, but we're heading back to Trail Crest and you get a real cool view of them from this side. These two outcroppings, pointy outcroppings we kind of traverse around the edge of. And that's what gives us the views on the other side with those unnamed alpine lakes. Pretty cool stuff. So we're just making our way down. I feel like on the way up, I just got right in the middle of a big train of people. Not really seeing the same amount of people coming up now. So that's interesting. So we're gonna have views of the Hitchcock Lakes and Timberline Lake for most of the way down. At some point we'll make a turn and start getting more of Guitar Lake as well. So now that we're kind of a little lower, we're a little below the clouds and we're back to having some views. And again, if I was a betting person, I'd say afternoon shower of some sort is headed our way. Just looking at the skies, there's some blue trying to get through, but it's pretty much what it's looked like the past 4 days, 3 days. Darker clouds just rolling in. At some point we'll probably get a storm of some sort, but we'll deal with that when it's time to deal with that. So I pointed out from Bighorn Plateau, but there is Keeler Needle right there. So we're seeing it from the other perspective. Pretty cool. That's what those two pointy outcroppings I was talking about earlier. One of them is Keeler Needle. So now we're seeing it from high above instead of from the plateau. If the weather was a little nicer, I'd probably just go scramble up to the top of it, but not today. All right, our next Our next little landmark will be Mount Muir down the trail a ways.
So it's just about 10 o'clock. I've been climbing a lot. I didn't look up the elevation, but I'm hoping I'll pop up here and get a good view, and then I can start back down. But the trail on this, the maintenance has been amazing. It's raining a little bit, but nothing terrible. So I'm going to keep going to the top, and then I'll probably turn around.
All right, there's Trail Crest. We're getting close to switching off. Back on the JMT. Head back down to Guitar Lake. So should start seeing a lot less people soon. So one thing that's a little different on this trip, especially I'm noticing as I'm heading down, I'm going just as quick down as I was up. And you know, if I'm hiking with Sarah all summer, she just goes a little slower going down, which is smart to save your ankles and your knees. And you know, she's usually not doing any day hikes, so it's all heavy backpacks. But you know, I got a day pack on. The weather is cool. I'm just motoring down this trail. I feel like I'm flying. So it's a nice change of pace. Look at the scenery I have all the way down. Just lakes everywhere. And we're almost linked up with Trail Crest, where a lot of people who do Whitney are going to go the other way down the Whitney Trail. But we're going to go back down the JMT to Guitar Lake. And right now, you know, depending on the time we get back and what the weather's like, I'm seriously thinking about breaking down camp and headed back the 4 miles to Wallace Creek and setting up there. I mean, I wouldn't have the views I have here, but that would set me up nicely. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It would also be nice just to chill at the lake here, have a couple beers, and just relax. I got a nice remote site, so I'd say I'm 50-50 right now. We'll figure it out.
So I made it to the trail junction. That was my goal. Back to the valley, 3.2 miles down. I'm at about 6,600 feet, and we're at a pretty big trail junction here. I forgot about the cool signs in Yosemite. So it looks like the Yosemite Falls is a 0.2 mile up this side trail. So I'm gonna take that. I don't think I'm gonna go all the way to the point. I really just want to get to a good viewpoint, and then I'll turn back. I don't know what time it is. I forgot to look. Probably about 10:30, maybe 10:45. Let's see. I have a watch on. Oh, 10:45. So let's hope for view.
Okay, so it is September 13th, day 4. We just took a little break to get the little rocks and sand out of our trail runners, have a little breakfast, and you can see the trail maybe that's heading to Guitar Lake. And that's where we're going. We're going to be walking on that as we make our way down.
Good morning. It's just about 11 o'clock, and I got to the outlook at the top of Yosemite Falls Trail. The falls aren't running this late in the season. It's really just in the springtime and early summer, maybe a little longer in a high snow year. But the views are still beautiful. It's still a little bit hazy, but not as bad as before. I think the little bit of rain we had helped. I had some oatmeal this morning, but I am starving. So even though it's just about 11 o'clock, not even, I'm gonna have my Subway sandwich and then probably get pizza for early dinner and have pizza tonight. So I'll flip the camera around and give you some views as well, but I think it's a good place for a break.
So we dropped a bunch of elevation. The weather is really going to dictate what I'm going to do the rest of the day. I just have never had this much potential for rain and rain every day. I don't feel like breaking down camp and then hiking in the rain is something I want to do. It's just going to mean I'm not going to be able to, I mean, you got to be flexible with your plans, right? There was a lot I wanted to get done, and I'm just going to kind of not going to get it all done, and that's fine. You're allowed to stay 2 nights at Guitar Lake, so I've only been here 1 night, so I'm going to most likely stay here another night, just relax, get an early start tomorrow, and hopefully set up camp somewhere near Tuliano Lake. I was hoping maybe to like cut that trip in half by breaking down camp today and getting halfway there, but there's just clouds in every direction. And I know that means rain is going to come. I'm actually hoping I can get down back to the tent before any serious rain starts, because it just feels like it's going to rain. And with the cloud, I mean, you never know in the mountains, right? This could all blow out in 4 or 5 hours, but right now it looks like another day, another dreary day of rain down here. So I'd rather stay dry and warm in the tent. Luckily, that's why I bring like extra battery packs, so I can just watch some shows, listen to an audiobook that I'm really, I've been listening to The Wheel of Time. It's great. You just, you know, through your library card. I had no idea this world existed. Sarah's been doing it for a long time. You can download audiobooks in the library. I've always, I've never really have been a big fantasy reader. The only one I read was Game of Thrones, and we all know how disappointing that became in the end when he just decided to give up writing and stick to the TV show and ruin that. So I definitely, I'm only on the first book. It's really been great. And especially when you're up here in this area, like it's like a Lord of the Rings fantasy kind of feel to it. So really like your imagination gets kicked up an extra layer while you're listening, which is really cool. I think I'm like 15, 16 chapters in. It's like a 30-hour book. I'm probably halfway through it. Really digging it, really enjoying it. I can definitely see a lot of parallels between some of the themes and characters from Game of Thrones and this book, which is much older, I believe. So enjoying the story so far. And so yeah, between that and podcasts and all the stuff on Netflix, Amazon Prime, I'm certainly going to keep myself amused and just kind of hang here, you know, change plans a little bit. Won't be doing as many mountains. And the other thing too, with all this rain, I don't want to climb Mount Williamson when that rock is wet, especially going up that chimney. I mean, it really needs a day or two to dry out up there before I feel comfortable with those holes on the chimney. So maybe Williamson won't happen this trip. Who knows? Maybe, you know, you just gotta be flexible and enjoy what you get. Enjoy what the weather gives you and make the best of it. And I mean, if this was all I did this trip, and then I go back to that one campsite in the meadow next to the Wallace or Wright Creek, I mean, wasn't that a great spot? And those deer coming, I just hang there for a couple days. That's fine by me. Not every trip goes exactly. This has been a really crazy trip from the get-go, and you just got to kind of roll with it, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to roll with it, and part of that is we're going to stay here another night and just enjoy it, and we'll strike out in the morning for hopefully new territory.
This little guy's getting a little too close. So here's the view from the top of the lookout point at the top of the Yosemite Falls Trail. Not a bad view. The sun's trying to come out. Who knows if it will. And there's the valley. So looking from the overlook, it's like very moody. overcast, threatening of rain. But then if I look behind me on the other side, the sun is trying to come out and the sun keeps trying to peek out, but I don't know if it's gonna actually happen, but it is beautiful up here.
All right, we're almost back down to Guitar Lake, and if zooming in, pretty sure I can see the orange of my tent on the shelf there. Don't know how it's gonna turn out on the video, but still lots of clouds everywhere. All right, so we're back down at Guitar Lake. You can see where most people camp. There's even a use trail. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 tents, all pretty close to each other, and I see a marmot running around. So definitely like the spot we picked, a little more secluded, away from the other people, so you don't hear people getting up in the morning and all that other racket. We made it back, home sweet home. Get our water filtered and prepare for more hunkering down in the tent if and when the rain starts up. But we're back from Whitney, another successful summit. Super cool.
I just had to stop and take in this view for a minute because it is gorgeous.
So day 4, it's about 12:30 in the afternoon. The sun popped out for like 10 minutes, warmed things up significantly, and then it went away. We're back in the clouds and it's cooled off again. I'm just in the tent looking to see what I might want to do tomorrow. So we are here at Guitar Lake, take the JMT back to the PCT, head back north, and then somewhere around here come off trail, and there's Wallace Lake, Wales Lake, and Tuliano Lake, and I like to set up somewhere in that area. So we'll see how it goes. That's the what I'm feeling right now anyway. Day 4, little update. We're sitting at about 11,500 feet at our camp at Guitar Lake, and we're just watching these really dark clouds coming our way. Although it looks like once the dark clouds go, it's more lighter clouds behind. We've had a couple of brief patches of sun, nothing to get excited about or to leave the tent for. The wind's picking up a bit, and unlike yesterday, it seems like these clouds are coming straight for us and whatever they're bringing with them. So we'll see, maybe a half hour, an hour from now, we will be getting some rain. Hopefully the other folks that are camped here at Guitar Lake will be back down in their tents or close to them, because it does look a little nasty. But the rain's held off so far, but the wind has definitely picked up a little bit. It's still a little bit cold, but we're warm and toasty in our tent. Nice cup of coffee, just relaxing, listening to a podcast, taking in the views. Don't forget, we also have the view of Whitney on this side in the clouds, Guitar Lake. We got all the views here at base camp. So we'll check in if something something happens weather-wise. Checking in, quick little update, day 4. Still got that breeze coming in and dark clouds, but no rain yet. There's been some more gear failures, however, some expected, some not so much. The first one is a pretty easy gear failure. Big hole in the darn tough. Definitely put a lot of abuse on them, and their lifetime warranty is great. So I think that's maybe the 3rd or 4th sock this trip that has bit the dust. So when we get back home, we'll just mail them all back and get replacements. So I have a replacement one that's showing somewhere, and we might wear that one out before our trip's over. And a more serious gear failure is the zipper right here. You can see at the bottom, it's not closing. And no matter what I do to try and get this bottom zipper to reconnect again, it's just not working when the zipper goes on the tent. So this is a big Agnes copper spur, like the original model. Sarah and I have been using the new one, which is great. This one is really on its last legs. The original, the rainfly's always been the same, but the tent, at some point, you can see little tears here on one of our backpacking trips years ago. All this fabric ripped around the zipper. Sent it in to Big Agnes under their warranty. They could not repair that. They did repair other holes, you can see, right? But couldn't repair anything close to the zipper. So, and that tent had only been a year or two old, and so they sent us this one that had obviously gotten a lot of use. It was still functional, but in a lot worse condition than the one we sent in, except for the tear around the zipper. So I think just because that zipper is now failing, and then even the zipper on this side, I'm being very careful with it because it works most of the time, but not all the time. Sorry about that. So I think this tent, this is its last hurrah, and probably won't even bring it back to New Hampshire with us. We'll just trash it here because it's just not reliable enough for the backcountry, and that's how it goes. Got a lot of use out of it. It's sad too because the tent poles on it, I just sent them in either last year or the year before to get restrung, and they're great. They're like perfect now, like new. And unfortunately, these tent poles they're not compatible with the new version of the copper spur. So it's not like we can even keep them as a spare. There's no point. So maybe I'll post something, I don't know where, on Facebook or somewhere, if someone just needs the tent poles for the old copper spur. Maybe we can give them a good home instead of just trashing them. But that's where we're at. Just hanging out, enjoying the views, relaxing, thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow, listening to some podcasts, and just taking it easy. I'll probably set an alarm for another early day tomorrow, get a nice early start, and that's it for now. Day 4, just got a quick weather update. You can hear the rain hitting the tent. It's not coming down too hard right now, but definitely have a little bit of not even hard enough where I need to close the vestibule door. Even though it's a little windy, it's really not blowing in the tent. So I'd say just a passing sprinkling shower right now coming through, and there is a little bit of blue way in the distance, but mostly clouds, and mostly dark clouds. So we'll see how that plays out as the afternoon goes on. Just relaxing in the tent. And that is the update from Guitar Lake Camp.
So I got back to the car around 2 p.m. and I walked over into the Yosemite Valley Lodge to use the bathroom. And then I saw someone walking with an ice cream, and I was like, that's a good idea. So I went in to see what they have. I resisted buying a whole pint of ice cream because I knew I wouldn't be able to finish it. But I got this, what's it called? It's like a San Francisco tradition that I saw actually at the grocery store a few weeks ago, but there was like 4 in a pack and I didn't need 4 of them. So it's mint ice cream, oatmeal cookies dipped in chocolate. And my first few bites are delicious. The hike was great. Amazing views. My feet are tired. I was amazed at the number of people that I saw hiking up there that were not prepared and going out late in the day. Like I left the car, I don't know, sometime between 8 and 8:30, and I didn't get back to the car till 2. So it's like a long hike, and I saw people with just like one like small little bottle of water, no snacks, but I mean, it's a day hike from Yosemite Valley, so I guess that's to be expected. I also saw a lot of graffiti on the signs, which you don't typically see in the back country, so that was sad. But not too much trash, so that's good. But I'm gonna eat this before it melts, so I'll check it later.
Day 4 update. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. The rains have arrived. For the past 20 minutes or so, I had to close this side of the vestibule because the wind is coming in this way and it was getting a little bit wet, but I can leave this side open at least for now. That's the story. Another day of rain in the afternoon. And let's see if it's going to be another all-nighter or most of the night of more rain. But we're warm and dry in the tent. We're just relaxing. And we'll check in later. I just got back to my campsite and this massive crow is walking around like he owns the place. I'll also say this is probably one of the dirtiest campsites I've been in. There's just trash everywhere. But yeah, this guy was around this morning too. Go away! He is not scared at all. Crazy. What's up, guys? Day 4 update. It's a little after 4 in the afternoon. Not much has changed weather-wise. We've got a brief respite. We actually had the sun in our tent for a little bit, and Whitney is still in the clouds. And I imagine there's going to be some more rain rolling through tonight. But right now we've got a little bit of blue sky coming through. It is chilly and it is a little bit windy, so I only have the short sleeve on because I've been hanging out in the tent. But if I was hanging out here, I'd have on probably a fleece hat and another layer because it is a bit chilly and we're going in the late afternoon. But it's been great hanging out here, seeing the views. I can leave this side of the vestibule open again for a while. Sorry, I got distracted. I see someone who's actually heading up right now, it looks like, heading up the trail, which for this time of day, with this weather, unless they're just gonna camp right on that next shelf. Oh, there's actually 2 people. Well, if they're going all the way up to the summit, I don't think they're gonna have a very good time. It's not gonna be very pleasant if they're trying to get sunset or something. I don't think you're going to see much up there, but maybe they're just going to camp on that higher shelf. So that's the report from Guitar Lake, and we'll check in later. It's getting later in the afternoon, a little after 5. That is the most blue sky I've seen all day. It looks great. Dry those mountains out so I can go climb some more of them. The wind has definitely picked up. We haven't really had a lot of rain today. And got a special treat of cold beer and cold pizza. So we're gonna have a good night. Just checking out the views and relaxing in the tent. So it's about 6 o'clock and I am back at the campsite after having an early-ish dinner at Curry Village at the Pizza Deck. Pizza was good, I had a beer, and to no one's surprise, I made friends. I had a table to myself and there was a young couple that was like searching for a table, and of course I was like, oh, you can join me, I'm by myself. And so we had a nice chat over dinner. They're from San Francisco and they came out to hike Half Dome. So it was a good night. Tomorrow morning I will pack up my tent and just move campsites in the same campground, so that shouldn't be too bad, just kind of a hassle. And then I think I'll explore the valley. So I think today overall was a good day. As I was walking back to the campsite, I realized that the smoke had cleared a little bit and I could actually see some blue sky. So hopefully that bodes well for tomorrow.
I'm going to explore the valley is the plan, and just kind of have a relaxing day, because on Thursday, as I'm driving to Tahoe, I'm planning to do a bit of a hike up in the Tuolumne Meadows area. So that's everything for today, and I will check in tomorrow.